All right, Improvisation Center is back again with this pile. Yes, a GMC Safari van. You seen this thing earlier when we were dragging it back here with a tractor. Main reason is we're going to be yanking out the 4.3 V6 and the 4L60 transmission to put in our 46 Ford Coupe. So in order to get one of these powertrains out, you apparently have to snatch the whole nose off this thing. So that's what we're going to do right now, is snatch the whole nose off this thing piece by piece. Now, on a side note, at first I was going to part this van out, but friends have said that there's actually a cult following for these minivans with LS swaps in it. So I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air because I've seen a couple of YouTube videos of guys that customize these vans with LS swaps and made them into little custom conversion vans with beds and shit like that inside. So apparently there's people doing all sorts of shit with these things. So I'm probably not gonna molest this thing yet, leave the body alone, other than maybe gutting it out to get rid of all the old carpet and the old seats that are ratty and everything, and just kind of start off with a fresh canvas. But in the meantime, powertrain still has to come out before I could do anything else with this vehicle, much less scrap it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that now. I appear to be wounded. All right, made some progress with this thing. As you can see, pretty much got most of the nose ripped off, as I stated before, and a whole bunch of shit sitting over there. And managed to pull a few things off of this engine as far as hoses and stuff like that. There's been a couple little things I noticed about it though that are making me reconsider the whole idea about trying to use this van as a van, because there's a lot of features on here that I would love to roll over to one of our other builds, like this brake master cylinder setup that's hydraulic, using the power steering pump instead of a pneumatic brake booster. Interesting feature that would be usable on a hot rod. And for all intents and purposes, the brake pedal assembly and everything, I could pull all that stuff off of this vehicle and then just fabricate mounts to mount everything, the brake pedal assembly, and by default this whole master cylinder brake booster assembly would go on just as well. And then of course we got our V6 here that's got AC and shit on there, and at the same time, if I could probably reuse this HVAC box as well as all the hoses and shit, and basically be able to put full AC and heat and everything in the car just as well. So yeah, there's a lot of shit on here that we may very well pull off of this van to use on the 46 Ford build, because there's a lot of good shit on here. So more than likely we're going to go back to plan A, which is parting out everything, using what we can on the other builds, and then probably figure out something to do with the body later. My other plan was going to also be to pull the body off the frame, because being a wide track frame and of a long enough length, it could actually serve as the body for some other future build. And as far as the, our frame, but as far as the van body itself, well, there's a number of possibilities. Chicken coop, dog house, storage building, whatever, you know. Even after I sell doors and different shit off of it, it ain't nothing to fabricate little doors out of sheet metal or whatever, you know, like improvisation. You just figure out some shit, shoot from the hip, and just go along that way. But that's neither here or there. Right now, we're focusing on this little thing right here. This has to come out. Our next move is going to probably be to pull the hump off inside so we can access the back of the engine and further remove any wire harnesses and hoses and different shit like that on the back end, and then even see if there's a possibility of accessing the exhaust manifolds or the flange pipes or the motor mounts or any of that other shit, hopefully without going underneath. But I know I'm going to be going underneath this thing at some point, so yeah. So the work continues. All right, gotten to the point now where this thing is pretty much ready to hook up and yank out. Managed to actually get the motor mount bolts out, so those are free. Got all the wiring, hoses, all that good shit pulled off. AC hoses, you can see all that yanked off. On the inside as well, got everything pulled off that needed to get pulled off. Shitload of wire connections disconnected, fuel lines, everything is disconnected. Now go and take a quick look underneath. Looking underneath, we actually have all that stuff cut off too. Can't see the exhaust pipe, but I actually chopped it off at the right after the Y pipe. Let's see if we can get a peek under there. There it is. Exhaust pipe is cut. The reason I did that is because with us using this powertrain as is, it only makes sense to go ahead and retain part of the flange pipe section of the exhaust pipe. So for all intents and purposes, I could do one of two things. Either connect that up to, hell, I could even reuse this whole exhaust system, sans the catalytic converter, of course. But I could either do that or cut the Y pipe and branch it off into two separate exhaust systems. Either way, we still need the flange setup going to the exhaust manifolds, unless I happen to pick up some headers for a V6. So that's that part. As you could also see, transmission's resting on a jack because the cross member is off and free. Motor mount's free. All the wiring on this transmission as well as the shifter linkage are free. Now, another thing I happen to notice is this is not a 4L60. This is actually a 700R4. It only has a couple little plugs right there. That is actually a good thing, because that means I don't have to worry about any standalone controllers of any sort. And even after hooking the thing up with the carbureted setup, I could set it up to be just a regular plain old automatic transmission. So it's actually a good thing. That means less shit to buy. Just have to hook up the cable, hook it up to the linkages on the carburetor, and yeah, quick and easy. But everything is hooked up, is disconnected on here, so all we got to do now is get the crane staged, get it hooked up to the engine, and get a pull vehicle behind the van so we can pull the van back as we lift the engine and pull it straight out. We are almost done with this pile. All right, at this point, we're all hooked up. We have our crane more or less hooked up, and as far as it'll get in there, Had a few little roadblocks along the way, such as the motor mounts, because even after disconnecting the motor mounts and jacking the engine up, I couldn't get it high enough to actually clear the motor mounts or the brackets and still get the crane in there. I ended up cutting one of the brackets off with a Sawzall, or a reciprocating saw for those of you that are specific, and taking the bracket off of the engine on the other side in order to get all of that free. Hopefully we'll still be able to get the oil pan to clear the K member as we pull the van straight back with the tractor again. Yep, had to use the tractor again because the ground's too soft, too shitty to use any other vehicle. So we're all hooked up, tractor's hooked up. Let's get this shit out.
The very thing you are trying to save.
Well, I was wanting to save, but I'm probably gonna start hacking some shit because I'm sick of this fuck. Oh. Where's the saw?
Right there. Sorry, mommy.
there's wires still hooked up.
Keep going. Told you, keep going.
Well, I'm just making sure it
You're good.
straight.
Keep going. I would have told you otherwise. Keep going. Keep going. That's probably what you smell.
Some stupid shit happens. Have another big fucking disaster. Man, look at this fucking ground. The damn crane legs are buried in the motherfucking ground.
Mud. Yeah.
Oh, that shit sucked. But at least we got the engine out, got it loaded up, got this piece of shit moved. So now we can move on to our next phase of the project as far as this van is concerned, which is totally unrelated to the engine pull, but removing all the other shit that I want to salvage from this thing for the 46 Ford build, and as well as any other future plans that we have for this thing, short of setting it on fire, of course. But thanks to the trusty tractor, we got the shit done. So at this point, gotta take the trusty tractor back and conclude this fiasco. So till next time, I'll catch you later. You know the whole deal with this stuff. Hit the like, and if you hadn't already, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Show us some love, because apparently that piece of shit over there did not show us any love. This ground did not show us any love. The only thing that really showed us love is this tractor. I need to get me one of these things. I keep saying that. But, till the next time, you know what to do. I'll catch you later.